2,355 pounds, the Jayco 12SC J Sport pop-up here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This kind of fits, this is sort of like a Ford Taurus of a pop-up, and what I mean by that, it's that super solid, reliable, you know, full-size sedan sort of pop-up camper. It gives us a 12-foot box. We have that front storage rack on the front. We do have a dinette slide out. We also have the industry's best warranties, as we'll describe as we go. Ideal for people trying to get out of a tent or families wanting to start camping adventures before you decide to swap out and upgrade to something like, say, you know, an Eagle mid-bunk or something like that we have here at Haylett RV. Now, one of the main points of a pop-up is that you're trying to not sleep on the ground anymore. So as odd as it seems, I actually kind of want to start inside here by looking at the sleeping arrangements. So we've got a king front bed, queen rear. The dinette can fold down, the sofa can fold down, so you have 4 separate sleeping zones. We have an easy 4-person sleeping capacity here, with obviously privacy shades all over the place. Now, if you really need to, obviously we could sleep 4 to 6 in here pretty simply, because the front and rear beds are easily going to sleep 2 people, then with an additional person on the sofa or the dinette. You know, very good for couples camping, guest camping, buddy camping, small family camping. But the good news, especially with the slide out, this one actually has decent living space. So again, we have that king bed up front, which that's also nice. It's hard to find small campers with big beds, you know. And you also notice how all these brown curtains that we were looking at, they can kind of you can either roll them up out of the way, or you can slide them out of the way. I've done one slider there, I've done one roller there to kind of demonstrate how you can use those things in either fashion that you prefer. Each of the bed ends, you're going to enjoy the benefit of one of these bunk end fan lights. Because if you think about it, there's no construction above us. There's no way to have wiring or air ducting or anything above that. So these fans and the lights giving you, so you can see over here and actually promote some airflow. Those things are super, super valuable. Now, these are actually, this is like a UV tinted, like plastic window pane, basically. Window pane, quote, you get the, that's the purpose it's serving. Well, it's helping prevent the sun from cooking this thing, but when you need airflow, it's also like a dual pocket. You can actually kind of zip this down, and you can see that there's a screen door behind that. There's a similar screen, well, not door, but you get the point, a similar screen behind each of these bed end panels as well. So if you want to zip this down, what's really cool about a tent camper like this is you can get like 360 degrees of visibility, which will really make this thing feel very large and open. Very handy if you are boondocking, or if you just don't have an air conditioner. If you want to get the extra air breeze and flow rolling through here, you're going to love it. You will not regret that. Now over here, your little kitchenette, you do have your sink with hot and cold water. That's one of the nicer parts of a 12-foot pop-up, is it gives you the ability to have a water heater. In a Jayco, they call that their Deluxe plumbing package. It offers a water heater, a propane furnace, etc. It's mostly propane appliances. Although you will always have your little indoor-outdoor stainless steel cooktop right there. Down below, we have a 3-way refrigerator. That means 12 volt. That means propane, and that means 110 electric, which means cold, colder. Oh, pardon me, I got that backwards a little bit. So 12 volt, 110 electric, and then propane means cold, colder, coldest. There we go, in that order. 1, 2, 3. The whole camper, which is really nice, is actually carpetless, including the dinette. And that's an area that a lot of towable RVs will actually miss. More often than not, they will have carpet in the dining area. And if there's one place you don't want carpet, it's in the dining area, so they've done that well here. Of other specific note is the fact that in this dinette slide, you do have a full free-floating table, and you can take that outside for picnic use, as we'll see later. Now, the dinette slide, what it's really doing here, because if you notice, if I just sit down, you notice that you have the same amount of walkway space in this and like the 10SD pop-up by Jayco. It doesn't give you more, more room necessarily. It gives you more seating. The 12SC with the slide out, what this gives us, guys, is the ability to sit 4 people at the table together and have a family dinner. And it's kind of funny. My wife and I, we were fortunate enough. We saved our pennies. We got a new home. We're super happy about it. And one of the first things we did is go get a nice family dining table, because something we always wanted to do each night is be able to sit down as a family and have dinner. And now that we can do that, it has become one of our favorite times of day. because I think that, and really, I think it goes right along with camping. I'm not rambling with the story. I do have a point, believe it or not. I go off on tangents, but then I always find my way back. The point I'm making here is whether I'm eating at my dining table, or I'm camping with my family, or we're sitting at that dining table, the point is you're making connections with your family, with your loved ones. You're building memories. You're strengthening bonds. That's what camping is. That's what this provides for us. That's what this gives us. Plus, the 12SC also offers the space to have this extra sofa over here for more seating, which kind of helps if, you know, you don't always, sometimes you're camping, you're hot, you're sweaty, it can be humid, you're sticky. You don't want to be like glued to each other. You want to have a little bit of breathing space. Plus, it gives you more sidewall space for more windows here. By the way, the 12SC does have an easy entry one-piece door, which is, I think, very important. By the way, I did a very quick setup on this camper. Like you can see, there's a little bit of an air gap right there. That's not normally there. I just don't have the door set in properly. I just want to give you a quick note on that. But the fact that the door handle's up here, I like that because for a taller person, it makes more sense. Instead of being all the way down here. It's not that this is terrible. It's just that I don't have to deal with it now, you know? Now up front here, well actually out back here, they did some really small, smart things with this countertop. So first of all, next to the sofa, I was like, what are these gold hinges? And I realized, oh, they put some like old school Coleman camper sort of pop-up storage space in there. That was a smart little addition. Simple, smart, inexpensive stuff. They have power outlets next to each side of the bed, but you also have park TV hookups here, which is interesting. So if you wanted to put a TV above that little fireplace on the stand they left for you right there, you've got a neat little spot to do so. Now, we've talked about sleeping, we've talked about living space. There's one more big thing we got to talk about in a pop-up camper, and that is storage space. And we're actually going to start with the dinette here. You see I've slipped that table out of the way. We'll get to see that get outside. Again, something they're doing here that a lot of travel trailers don't do is they're giving you easy storage to the dinette benches. And, you know, you don't necessarily have to take the cushions off. You don't have to remove the plywood bases to be able to get to that. You don't have to do that here. All you have to do is just go camping with your family and have a good time. Again, you can see there's full storage under the sofa. And as I turn around here, there's going to be an extra large cabinet that is usually referred to as like a porta potty cabinet on most Jayco schematics, because it is large enough that if you wanted to put one of those in there for like late night emergency use, that would be the place to put it. Now, usually these 12-foot boxes, and I believe this one is actually one of the ones, you can add a bathroom option to it. And it's interesting because we will have people specifically purchase a pop-up because it has one of those little, not awesome, but, you know, bare minimum use cassette toilet features. And almost every single time when people trade them in, the story is we literally never used it. We were afraid of it. We didn't understand it. Even though we show our customers how to do this stuff, when it comes time to actually do it, they're like, I would just rather go up to the park bathhouse and not have to deal with this. And then when I'm done camping, I can sell it and say it's never been used and brand new. So, you know, instead of a wasted bathroom fixture, we thought, why not give you extra countertop space and extra storage space? Because if there's two things you never get enough of in any RV, especially in a folding tent camper, it is countertop space and cabinet space. Anyone who's ever had one of these already knows that's true. I was about to start cranking one of these open when I thought, you know what? It'd be really cool if people actually got to see one of these closed up for a second, so you get to see how small this is behind your vehicle. And this is why a pop-up, even a fairly large one like this, maybe one on the larger half of the spectrum at least, how well it will track behind your vehicle, because it's not wider than your vehicle, it's not taller than your vehicle, so you don't tend to get that wicked headwind. You see the highway behind us, you see all the semis whipping past previously there. Even just a big vehicle or someone else hauling a big fifth wheel perhaps, it can kind of really give you a heck of a headwind that'll push things around. Well, you're not going to have that problem here because this tend to fits behind the wind signature of your vehicle much, much better than a you know, a full-blown travel trailer, say like one of these fifth wheels that you see here in the background. You're just not going to get that wicked wind push. Now, all opened up for camp use here, the first thing I actually want to talk about is a best-in-class quality that is not even close to matched by anyone else, and that is that this camper has 6 5-year warranties on it, and anything else is going to be covered under Jayco's 2-year tongue-to-bumper warranty. So at worst, At worst, this has double the warranty of basically anything else out there. That's impressive. So, the roof, the lifter system, the bed ends, the floor decking, the frame, and the tent material, even though it's not tent material, that's the name everyone knows it as, so that's the word I'll use. Those all have their own 5-year warranties. So now let me ask you, what's left? And the answer is usually not much, is what people say. They go, well, not much. Everything else that is left still has twice the coverage of anybody else on the market. Big time statement right there. Jayco does not build the #1 selling pop-up, but they build the #1 constructed, peace of mind, long-lasting pop-up. That's what this is designed around, guys. Keep that in mind as you go. So, what is getting them there? You know, what makes this one attractive? Well, first of all, I want to point out the fact that this thing has full 4 corner stabilizers. I've only got one rear jack down now just to kind of make sure it wasn't going to pop a wheelie when I was inside alone, because I'm weighing a little more than I should right now, if you know what I'm saying. But we have 4 corner stabilizer jacks. A lot of pop-ups have rears only, and then they say, oh, well, you can put the tongue down. Yeah, but the tongue is usually on a tire. You can take the tire off and put a foot pad on, but even then, it still has a lot of play in it. You don't want to use that for stability. You want those for stability. That's why they're called stabilizer jacks. That's not a stabilizer. That is. Now, the front tongue here, hold on. I knew I'd forget the number. Maximum cargo of the front deck is 250 pounds. How about that? Now, you can put a lot of stuff on there. Obviously, you're not going to want to put a 250-pound object dead in the middle of that wire mesh. You want to distribute the weight, but the fact is, if what you're trying to do is like, man, I'm trying to find I want a pop-up, but I want to also bring along the kids' bikes or something like that, well, congratulations, guys. Now you can do that in a way that doesn't require any sort of goofy specialty hitching, aftermarket modifications, voiding of warranties, or any of that. It's just built right in here. Actually, this is probably, if you are going to bring kids and bikes, this is probably one of the best folding tent campers that I could really imagine you getting set up into. Then there's little detail things, like up front around the tongue area here, or I don't know if it's got a specific name. I call it a plug buddy, but I tend to come up with my own goofy names for stuff. But the fact is, they give you this neat little area right here to keep the 7-way plug from sitting in the water, the dirt, dragging on the ground, what have you, you know. Now, this also has all LED tail and marker lights, just like all the other big Jayco, like, luxury fifth wheels, you know. There's certain minimum things Jayco is not willing to relent on, and that is one of those. Now, remember, Deluxe plumbing package is giving us things, I can't remember the exact setup, but like it might be furnace, water heater, maybe that shower, maybe that's part of it. The reason I don't know the exact specifics of it is because we put it on every single pop-up every single time. So to me, it's basically standard, because this is how we're going to build them pretty much every time here at Haylett RV. Now, if you like this camper, but let's say it's the bathroom option or something else, give us a call. As long as it's within the manufacturer's allowances, we can make that happen. No sweat. Now, there is a spare tire included with these that will bolt on that bracket right down there. It simply has not yet been installed. Kind of like the camper's awning, the little awning that hooks onto this, that has not yet been attached, because as you can kind of see over here, we just had a whole truckload of these things get delivered. We buy them by the truckload, so hey, you save like a truckload. And wouldn't you know it, it's not the first year that we have been the top-selling pop-up trailer dealer in the state of Michigan. So, you know, obviously what we're doing seems to work, and the logic that we apply to these things seems to work. And what's funny is we've become the largest camping trailer dealer in the state of Michigan off only 3 or 4 models. There's a couple of them that work really well. We stock really deep on them so we can have good volume discounts, and we work. So you have a one-piece entry door, but they give you a very nice spot to keep the travel door out of the way. And that's something a lot of pop-ups don't do. A lot of, you know, your base series, more price-effective pop-ups, they never do that. So that door is always in the way. It eats up cargo space. You have to walk around it, step on it, put it on a bed, something. It's always in the way. You get the point. It's not here. So that table inside could easily float outdoors for outdoor use, as the phrasing would imply. And that indoor stove can float outdoors for outdoor use, if I'm going to just keep on going on with terrible phrasing here, but you get the idea. Or what you could do, because they use the same gas grill quick connect system, you could leave the stovetop inside and use a full RVQ grill outside as well. Now, neat little thing, if you get up close and you look at the tires, they have blue caps on those valve stems, and usually you see green caps on tires indicating nitro-fill. But Jayco's, well, they're the Bluebird, so their caps are blue. Isn't that cute? So there you have it, guys. Whether it's, you know, economy to excitement, we do it all at Haylett RV. And we do it without hidden dealer fees. And we also do everything else, like hitching, pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything in between. Doesn't matter where you live. Doesn't matter if this is your first camper, your last camper, you're one in between. We make stuff happen, and we make happy campers. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone. We look forward to hearing from you soon.